So, as I mentioned in the previous episode, this series, we're walking through Freedom to Flow, a faith filled journey after 50. Somewhere along the way, midlife, in my opinion, got mislabeled. What if midlife is not a crisis, but a calling? Let's get into it after this. Welcome back to Purpose Over Paycheck with your host, Dr. Lisa. The midlife reinvention movement for women 50 and above, rising in faith, walking in freedom, living in flow, flourishing in every God designed season. Here is where we shift beliefs, we elevate purpose, and of course, we step boldly into our next chapter. What is this? This is purpose. Okay, so as before, I've got notes everywhere and I've got my pen, but midlife is often described as a point where things fall apart. And I have to admit, for me, initially, it felt like it was falling apart. But then I had to start asking myself probing questions. Okay. I had to put on one of my many hats as as a clergy person, as a midlife reinvention strategist, as an author, speaker, coach, all of those things. I had to coach myself, right? And start asking some probing questions, right? But what if what's actually happening is that the old structures can no longer hold who you're becoming? And sit with that for a minute, see how that feels. Is that the old structures, the old way of doing things, the systems that we have put in place, quite honestly, that have led to us being successful, that have led to us having the lives and creating the lives that we had come to enjoy before we retired from that daily routine. Those structures have, let's be honest, have served us well. But those structures can no longer hold who we're becoming in this season of life, in this season of I think of a older, person getting the sports car, getting the girlfriend, half their age, the boyfriend half their age. In the case of women being a cougar, right, is reverting back to some things to try and reinforce or reinvigorate youth, right, youthfulness. Um, a calling, on the other hand, suggests something is being revealed. At midlife, the noise quiets just enough for truth to speak. Roles loosen, performance loses its grip, and the questions get more honest. They have to. They have to get more honest because it is at this intersection that will either propel us to a flourishing state or propel us to a position or a posture where we're not necessarily going to enjoy the next season to the fullest extent possible. The question and the honesty that has to come into play is not what do I do next, but who am I becoming now? See how that feels different? How the energy flows a little different in the body. We respond physiologically different to the change and the shift in that thought process. Many of us feel restless in this season of life. That's what I'm finding. And immediately we assume that something is wrong. And for us high achieving women, right, when something is wrong, what do? We immediately default to fixing, right? But restlessness is often the signal that your soul is no longer willing to live on autopilot. No longer willing to live on autopilot. And autopilot is waking up every day at the same time, getting ready at the same time, walking out the door at the same time, having the calendar, the agenda, the things to do, the meetings to go to, all of these things, and to no longer be in that space. Midlife calls us to integration, not proving, not performing, not perfecting. Because guess what? We did all that. That's how come we got to this God designed season of being able to shift into integration, retiring from to answering the call. Integration of who we've been, right, with who we are now and who we are still being invited to become. Mm, 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 mm. That feels good to my soul right there. A calling doesn't shout. It doesn't. It's in the whisper. A calling is in the quiet. It nudges. It interrupts comfort. It asks better questions because it seeks honest answers. And often, a calling begins with discomfort, not to punish you, not to punish us, but to wake us up, to get us asking the honest questions, to having come to Jesus conversations with ourselves, to look in the mirror and ask the questions and be, in some instances, painfully honest. That's the call. Let me invite you into this moment with me. In the comments, finish this sentence with one word or phrase. Now, last time it was one word, and I emphasized one word. So this time, one word or phrase. Lately, I've been feeling called to ... Lately, I've been feeling called to. What's that one word? What's that phrase for you? I'm going to put my answer in the comment, and I'm looking forward to seeing yours. Keep in mind, there's no right answer, just honesty, because that's where we are in this season of our journey. And if this conversation speaks to your shanana, speaks to your soul, please subscribe so we can keep walking this season and this series together. Share with somebody else who you think will benefit from what we're discussing. and asking some honest questions. Also, click the notification so every time there's a new video uploaded, you get notified and you get it hot off the press. And as I promised, I'm going to end each episode with a blessing. So before we close, let me bless you. May you stop labeling your awakening as a breakdown. May you trust that the questions rising in you are indeed sacred. May your faith help you listen more deeply. May your freedom give you permission to respond. May your flow teach you that becoming does not require force. And may you remember, a calling does not rush you. It waits for your willingness. Remember, midlife is not a crisis. It's our invitation to reinvention. We're still here, we're still rising, and we're making this next chapter our best one yet, honey. Faith, freedom, flow, flourishing. This is 50 Reinvented.